Blog Talk Radio. We're tuned into another episode of Endie Fiya with your girl Nakia. What's going on, guys? Y'all been behaving like you've been staying in the house still? No? I'm seeing some no's. I'm seeing some thumbs up, like yeses. Yeah, I'm reading a lot of comments, where people are just like they're over this, and some people are like, this has become the new norm for me. Y'all know me. I'm like a homebody anyway, so I'm really good. Like I don't. Only thing I'm really missing right now, I posted a shot on Facebook, maybe like, I don't know, what day is today? Thursday? So like maybe Monday or Sunday where I really need a fill-in. You know what I'm saying? I really need a fill-in. And I have all of these people that are sending me like all of these nice nails that they're doing, like the press-on nails like you used to wear back in the day. Yeah, but these are my nails, all right? So if I want to wear your press-on nails, that means I have to cut my nail to be able to wear your press-on nail, and I don't want to do that. Like, I work hard for my nails, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. So I'm kind of looking at them like, yeah, you need to do something. Yeah, and I'm looking at my hair like, oh, my gosh. Yeah, and my eyebrows like, oh, my gosh. You know what I'm saying? Like, the other day somebody was like, yo, send me a picture. And I'm like, boy, what, is you crazy? Exactly. Yeah, that's like the only thing that, I really miss, like the upkeep of myself, self-care. We talk about self-care a lot around here and how important it is, but, yeah, I'm missing that self-care. But mentally, y'all good mentally? We make sure that we keep each other lifted in spirit all the time to make sure that our mental is good. So continue to do that, and I think we're going to make it. We're going to make it. At least we'll make it to next Thursday, all right, or next Monday, whenever we're going to be back. I think it's Monday. Monday? Yeah. Monday? All right. That's how I am around here now. I don't even know the days of the week. I don't know when the show is coming on. I don't know anything. Our schedule is so up in the air. I do know that we are wide open for next week. So if you want in, Tuesday and Thursday of next week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, both days are open. No Mondays for the month of May, except for New Music Mondays. Of course, you know how to submit for that. Other than that, that's all I got for announcements. If you have been following us on social media, you know that this Saturday, there are so many DJs and artists that are doing things, just to keep your spirits uplifted and everything. Well, our 2019 Entrepreneur of the Year, Sean Wilson, the CEO of Coco Vida Coquito, is hosting a live Coquito making class, yes, this Saturday. All right, you can still get in on that. All you need to do is be able to purchase your ingredients, and then, of course, be able to, I don't know if he's going to do Zoom. I don't know how the video conferencing is going to be done. He probably has given me instructions, and I just haven't opened the email yet. But all you need to do is purchase your ingredients. Those who may be lactose intolerant, those who may be vegan like myself, those who want to try without alcohol. If you got your kids there, he's going to be showing you how to make it all, as well as how to incorporate coquito in your food or in your dishes. All right, so it's an event that you really do not want to miss. It is free. Again, it is live and when you register, you'll get all the information, like your ingredients. You'll know how to sign in to, I don't know if it's Go Meeting, I don't know if it's Zoom, I don't know. You'll be able to get all that information. But you check him out on Instagram, CocoVita_Coquito. You can register on Eventbrite and get all those details there, right? Support him, support what he's doing. Learn how to make this for your family. That's a drink that we can enjoy all year long, not just for the holidays. So, again, check him out, Instagram, CocoVita Coquito. All right? Tell him your girl Nakia sent you. That's all I got for announcements. Y'all got anything? Something else to say? But, I'll remember by the end of the show. Yeah, I'm super excited to have my guest here this evening. It's been a while since we had a rock and roll artist on the show, and I said that I was going to tell you what award she won, but y'all know me. I'll be slipping, and I forgot. But shout out to Caitlin Gold over there in Hollywood. She just won a major, major award for an independent artist. And I want to say it's like the first time an indie artist has won this award, or maybe it was an indie female artist. Maybe that's what it is. An indie female artist won this award. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to tell it to you before the end of the show. So congratulations to you, Caitlin Gold. I see you continuously doing major, major things over there in Hollywood, California. Y'all remember when Caitlin was on the show, like 2 years ago? Crazy energy. I don't know what it is about these rock and roll artists. They have crazy, crazy energy. So I believe our artist tonight's going to be just the exact same way. I'm talking about Miss Trish Discord. She is an alternative rock and roll artist from Queens, New York, who sings and rocks out on the guitar. Her sound is influenced by the Brooklyn grunge scene when writing her songs. She has 2 degrees in psychology, and that's the reason why she has decided to incorporate mental health issues into her music. Trish has been singing all her life and started taking professional guitar lessons in college. Her first album, entitled Is This My Mental Breakdown, dedicates each song to a different mental disorder. She says, look out for that early spring. We talking, look, you know how early, guys? Tomorrow. Y'all know how I feel about new releases and debuts and everything, right, on the show? Yeah. We're talking tomorrow. It drops tomorrow. You hear me? May 15th, tomorrow. Follow Trish on Instagram at Trish Discord. She got a YouTube channel as well. Make sure you check her out. Endie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my very, very special guest, alternative rock and roll artist, Trish Discord. Y'all got one job, for real. Y'all only have one job every episode, and that is to press the button for the applause. Y'all be so slow. I'm going to try this again. One more time. You ready? Okay. Endie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my very, very special guest, alternative rock and roll artist, Trish Discord. Good help is so hard to find. I swear, good help is so hard to find. How are you this evening?
I'm good. Yeah, thank you for the great intro. And I'm really happy to be here. So thank you for having me on the show.
You are so very welcome. And as I said before, thank you again for giving so freely of yourself and of your time to be here with me and my listening audience to share all about you and, why it is that you do what you do, why it is that you're so passionate about what you do. And so just thank you, thank you, thank you. You could have been anywhere this evening, but you're here with us. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
You're so very welcome. I know I want to jump right in this because I told you before the show that I wanted to spend some time, speaking about a particular topic. But I know that your bio states that you began taking professional guitar lessons when you were in college. But where does your vocal background and your passion for rock and roll come from?
I've been singing all my life. I remember when I was 5, I would start with Celine Dion, and then eventually like Britney Spears and things like that. But then eventually, I just sort of got more into like the punk and indie scene, and I started liking other artists that are more rock, like Paramore, and getting really into music like that. And that started to influence my style, and then make me drawn to that type of vocal. So I would say, like, really listening to those artists and trying to cover their songs is what helped get me on the path that I am now.
Okay, so you say that your sound is influenced by Brooklyn grunge. How do you describe the grunge as people may not even know? You know, because like I told you, we had a show that had all grime music a couple of weeks ago, and people had no idea what grime music was until I started naming people like Skepta and Stormzy, and they were like, we know. And so people may not know what grunge is. Then you mentioned Paramore, and I know like Nirvana, but like, how do you describe the aesthetic of grunge?
I think of it as rock that has, you know, a lot of passion, but also does focus on having like a strong instrumental component. I feel like I don't come across a lot of grunge songs that are, you know, a folksy type acoustic sound. It's usually like a very distinct, strong guitar sound with usually a strong vocal with it. And so that's what I try to go for. And Nirvana is a perfect example. You know, it has like his main vocals in it and passionately singing, while also having like layers of different guitar parts that are really distinctive and strong. So that's usually how I think of grunge.
How did this style of rock and roll like pull you in?
I think it was just me sort of a certain artist, like Paramore, for example, maybe sort of think, I guess, more of like pop punk sounds almost. But then I also listen, you know, to other artists like Mitski, for example, who has, I don't know exactly how to describe her style, but she has very unique lyrics. And I just started listening to a bunch of different artists and trying to incorporate what I liked about them into my own style. And then I eventually realized I don't know what it is. I just seem to have like a more dark style and was drawn to grunge naturally. So it just seemed to, I guess, you know, come into play like naturally whenever I would write music. It just sort of like drifted to that type of genre. So I think what happened is it was really just like, you know, I wanted some sort of form of self-expression. And then I, you know, started playing guitar and writing songs, and it seemed to really, you know, help me get those emotions out and really understand them. And then I started over the years doing it more and more until I eventually get that degree, and I felt like, you know, this could be a great thing that I could do with it. And I understand how these disorders are, you know, from the books, but I also have worked with people with these disorders, so I can sort of have like the real life perspective and the textbook perspective on it, and then combine that with my music, which is why I'm here now.
Crazy, because I was sitting here like, okay, I want to go this way, but I want to go that way, but you took me right in the direction that I wanted to go.
Perfect.
Your bio does also mention that, you know, you're dedicating each song to a different mental disorder. Mental health is something that many people stray away from talking about. And, you know, we here on Endie Fiya, we know the importance of fostering positive vibes to protect one's mental health, but we also never sugarcoat, you know, the realities of its opposite effects when trying to overcome ourselves. You incorporated, you know, these issues into your music. What was the process like for you? Having, you know, the degrees, you know, sometimes it's best to have real life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it's best to have I used to call it, oh my gosh, what did I used to call it? I don't even remember. Some things are best when you have a real life experience versus when you have, you know, the book sense behind you. But when it came to creating this album and creating each song, you know, was it better to have like a real life experience, or was it to know that I have this degree behind me and I am certified to talk about this in my music? Or, you know, what was the writing process like for you?
It was a bit of a combination of both, actually. So, I had a degree, and I had, when you read, like, the textbook knowledge, it's obviously not very, it doesn't seem very, like, three-dimensional. So, what they usually do in psychology courses is a thing called a formulation, where you have a video where you look at someone who has a mental disorder, but it's not like they tell you what it is. They just sort of describe it like a counseling session, and then what you're supposed to do is write. There's a whole formula to it. That's why it's called formulation. But you write a lot of what's going on and the symptoms and the appearance, and then eventually you sort of give your reasoning for why someone has that disorder, like, and what disorder it is. So I was able to watch a bunch of those videos on YouTube and get, like, anecdotes from people who have these disorders, and just people I've worked with from my past careers that have these disorders, and things I remember them saying, or stories that they would tell me. And then it was sort of me just sitting down with the DSM, having, a certain disorder in mind, and then remembering what, either the formulation video or what someone would tell me about this disorder, and then trying to just combine it while also, keeping up with what it says in the textbook and making sure the symptoms are accurate. So it was, trying to do, like, the, I guess, left brain knowledge part and also the right brain creativity, and combine that together and make it accurate but also relatable.
Wow. Okay. A couple of years ago, I think it's probably been 6 years ago, I suffered a TBI. So for me to sit here now and try to grasp everything you said, the guys in the studio right now are looking at me like, you got all that? No, they know hell. No, I didn't catch anything she said, but I got it. The funny thing is, I got it. So now I want to know, with all of that being said, how did you twist all of that into a rock and roll song?
I guess really I just kind of tried to think, with all that, like, how, if I was the one with this disorder, how would I react? And that's pretty much how I went about each song.
Okay.
I would just, usually have something in mind of how I would be, and just sort of have lyrics come out from that.
Crazy. All right. So we have a caller. I want to get them on. Maybe they want to shout you out. Maybe they have a question. Maybe they just want to sit back and listen. I don't know what it is about this show. Every now and again, people call in and they get little stage fright. I don't know. But we're going to see who this is. You're live right here on Endie Fiya with Nakia and Trish. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, this is Alex.
Hey,
Alex.
How you doing?
Hey, May.
I'm good.
So
Alex,
my question.
How's everything going? Yeah.
Oh, everything is going great. I don't know if there's a delay with calling. I've never called into a radio show before.
Oh, well, happy to have you, and I'm happy to hear your questions as well.
Awesome. So the question I have is that I know that you talked about that your songs are based on disorders of others, but I was just curious if there's any song on the album that you would personally connect to the most, or has, like, maybe affected you in some way.
Hi, Alex. Don't get up here taking my questions now. Come on, Alex. Don't be taking my questions.
Sorry.
That was a really good question. I would say maybe the one called My Mind is Racing, which is about anxiety. I think I connect to that one a lot. We've all had moments of anxiety, and I think that one, like, some of the things that I had written about, I actually did go through. So I think that one I did connect with. It not every single thing in the song, but I think writing that was the most realistic and the easiest for me to do because I had my own material on it.
Yes, when I listened to the song too, I also got some feelings of anxiety in my personal life as well. So I definitely related to it.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
And what's the name of that one again?
Thank you for calling in. It's called My Mind is Racing, that song.
Can relate to that one. I haven't even heard it yet, but yeah. My mind's always racing. So yeah, I think I can relate to that one. Alex, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Long Island.
I won't hate on you. I won't hate on you. I still got love for the city. But thank you so much for calling in. Make sure that you stay tuned. I want to get the next caller in with their question or their shout out. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, let's see who we got. You are live on Endie Fiya with Nakia and Trish. Who do we have on the line?
I'm trying to. Is there anyone else here? I can't hear.
Yeah, we're all here. We're waiting on you. Who we have on the line?
Can't hear anything.
Hello?
Hello?
I don't know if they are still on the line, or I don't hear anything now.
Hi. Anyone hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Who do we have on the line?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, hi, Trish. Hi, this is Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hi,
how are you
Jennifer.
doing?
How are you?
Hi. I'm doing great. Sheltering in place, feeling good.
Exactly.
So, listening to music like this is really helping.
Yeah, I'm
and where are
happy
you
to hear
calling
that.
us from, Jennifer?
From Queens.
Queens in the house. Hey.
The Queens. 718-71 great.
So do you have a question
love it.
for our guest this evening?
Well, I do. First, I just want to say I think it's so great that this is all about mental illness and hopefully understanding more about it and working with it, because I come from a family with a lot of different kinds of mental illness. And let's see, I have two questions. My first question is, what were some of the greatest concerts you've ever gone to that might have helped you want to be a performer? And my second question is, if you could travel anywhere in the world to perform anywhere, where would it be?
Oh, very good questions. So I guess the first one, I was influenced by, some of the performers I just naturally happen to like are Paramore, Green Day does a great job when they do live shows, Mitski as well. Fall Out Boy I've seen a bunch of times, and they're really good. I usually connect with a lot of rock bands that are really good at, speaking to their fans and reaching out and knowing their base, and I sort of try to observe that and incorporate that into my own performance. And so I feel like those bands, since I naturally gravitate towards them, I try to copy that style. And then if I could perform anywhere and this virus is not going on, I would say I've never been to LA, or I've only been to San Francisco in California, so I'd want to see what California is like. Maybe other parts of the U.S. I've really been mainly on the East Coast, but I haven't been to Chicago or anything like that. So I'd want to try a different major city and see how it is there. I mean, I know they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, but it'd be nice to see how the other areas are and see if I can make it there as well.
Well, fantastic. Well, hopefully things will be safe again, and I hope you can travel again.
Yeah, thank you for your questions. They're really good.
Right. Thank you both.
Yes, thank you so much for calling in. You enjoy the rest of your night, Jennifer. All right, let me see. Who else we got here?
Hi.
You're live on Endie Fiya with Nakia and Trish Discord. Who do we have on the line?
My name's Anne.
Hi, Anne. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm
also
Where are you calling from?
So
718, yes.
Oh, great.
So much love.
Seems like you have quite the following in Queens.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's following. It's great.
Well, I was actually curious about your writing process because you are dealing with such a weighty topic. Do you approach the music side? Is the melody lyrics, or do the lyrics come out first to inform the melody?
I actually feel like the lyrics seem to come first, and then I sort of get a melody from the vocals, and work on that all together. There's sometimes that it does come out the melody is first, and then I sort of write lyrics after. It kind of just depends on the song, but I think most of the time it's lyrics first, and then I sort of write a melody after vocally, and then have the guitar fit that. And to me, that's my best way, but there's no right or wrong way to songwrite, but that seems to work for me.
Yay, lyrics-focused writing.
Thank you.
Oh. No, thank you.
I'm just marking these questions right off my list because you all are making it very easy for me tonight. You're asking all of my questions. It's like you peeked in here and saw what I was doing. I'm just marking them all off, you know. It's all good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling in, Ann.
Yes, thank you for calling in.
You enjoy the rest of your evening.
Stay safe. Have a nice evening.
Yes, stay safe.
All right, let me see who we got here. You're live on
Hello?
Endie Fiya with Nakia and Trish Discord. Who's on the line?
Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Danielle. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Forest Hills, Queens.
Oh, great. I'm actually not too far from there. I'm in Whitestone.
Oh, yeah, neighbors.
I miss the love. You know, I don't live in Queens anymore, so this right here is phenomenal. I normally, when I get an artist who's from Brooklyn or Queens, my line is flooded with the Bronx, you know, with the Brooklyn, a little Staten Island, you know, but never just everybody's from Queens. So I'm feeling the love. I'm missing home this evening. I really am. But go ahead, Danielle. I don't want to. You got the stage. Go ahead, Danielle. What's your question?
You're fine. So I was wondering, Trish, was there a particular song when you were growing up that was your favorite song, and did it inspire you to write any of the songs from your album?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say, I guess not a particular song, but a particular album, the Blurry Face album by 21 Pilots. The lead singer actually has schizophrenia, and a lot of his songs are dedicated to that. So I think I first sort of thought of that concept when I was listening to him sing about it, and he does a bunch of different songs about it. That's why it's hard to choose a particular one. But I do like a lot of his songs, and I guess to relate to this, I would say there are a bunch of different ones, and he does address it really well, and he does have it, so that does make sense. But yeah, I think I sort of just thought of that concept first when I was listening to them, and then expanded on it on my own.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much for calling in. You stay on the line and you stay safe. You hear?
Safe.
I'm going to jump in really quick and ask a question. I know nobody has this question right here. I know that. But before I connect the next caller, I want to ask you, at the culmination of the completion of your first album, what was your mental state of mind like?
To be honest, I felt like with each disorder I was writing about, I tried to really get in that headspace, I should say. And so I guess I was just trying to, like, you know, read things or watch movies that I knew had that disorder or, like, were close to it. For example, like if there was something like depression I had to write about, and I would just sort of watch something more on the sad side or that I had it. And so I think that did help me write it because I sort of got in the right headspace that I needed to be to write the songs accurately.
So with having to go through so many different emotions yourself, like how did you stay focused yourself and not get distracted? You know, because when you deal with depression and when you deal with anxiety and when you deal with fear, they can take you through so many, you know, different emotions, mentally, physically. And so how did you stay distracted? I mean, so how did you not get distracted and were able to write and complete the project? And then going back to that question again, at the end of it, now that you're done, now that the project is over, what's your mental state like now? Seeing all of this research and doing all of the research and looking at the videos and remembering, you know, what you learned in classes and, you know, what's your mind like now? Like, are you good? Are you just ready for this project to be released to the world and I'm happy, or, you know, where are you at now mentally?
I think at the moment I'm a lot happier. I think as you sort of mentioned, I am really happy to release this. I think what really got me like into the headspace, as I mentioned, like once I was writing the song, I think it sort of helped me like like understand these emotions and have like sort of like a catharsis with them. I think it just, in a way, like by writing about these emotions, I was able to sort of really understand them in a way I hadn't before, and be able to, feel better, I guess, about them because I understood them. And so I think this album really helps me if I ever go through an emotion similar or have to relate to someone that has these disorders and is going through this. It helped me, understand by either writing scenarios in the song, or maybe even like something that was close to a personal scenario I had incorporated in it, and then being able to look at that and write it and just know that is part of this disorder, and it's a difficult thing to deal with sometimes, but then now that I understand that that's sort of like a connected part and that's expected, I know that once you know what's expected, the worst is over in a way. And so that really helped me with writing. And I think after I wrote this album, I felt a lot better and was able to relate to others and understand what I was going through when I went through things that were going on in the album.
We have the single Another Girl. Is it from this project?
Yes.
You want to talk about that just a little bit and then introduce your track so we can go ahead and get it played?
Okay, sure. So Another Girl is about bipolar, and I actually had seen someone with an episode bipolar, and it inspired it a lot. And I asked them after, when you were going through that episode, it was like a hypomanic episode, like what was your, like, I guess as you were asking me, like, what were you thinking, what was your, like, mind space like not like in an accusatory way, just more just like a curiosity, which I think we should have more discussions like that. And she told me it was sort of like, everything is based on instinct. You don't really like, think like anxiety and like ponder things a million times. It's sort of just like thinking on almost like reaction or just trying to like, get things done and very quick and impulsively. And that helped me with this album by basing it on, some of the things that she went through and I saw her go through. And then other times just, how I think if I was going through this, how I would act.
All right. Well, this right here is Another Girl off of the forthcoming, as in tomorrow, Is This My Mental Breakdown album, the first album from alternative rock and roll artist Trish Discord.
Frightening.
If you're just tuning in live, you are in studio with Nakia and my very special guest here on Endie Fiya, alternative rock and roll artist, Trish Discord. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Well, it's a secret to you. My listening audience knows this. We don't listen to music when we get it in. We want to be just as surprised as the listening audience is when they hear it. So I already knew that I wanted to listen to the album in its entirety just because of what people have said tonight, calling in, the questions that they've asked. I think one or two people had already listened to a song or two. What you've incorporated into making this album alone makes me want to listen to it. But then just listening to Another Girl, I normally have a little tradition that I use when I listen to music, because I critique music all day long when I'm not working. And so first time I got to hear it just to hear it. And, I got my own thing that I got to go through. But you have a beautiful voice. I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to say that. I was not expecting, because people have so many preconceived notions when it comes to all different types of genres of music. And so when you think of Brooklyn grunge, or when you think of grunge music in general, and then combine it with the element of rock and roll, and then combine it with a female trying to do all of this, put it all together, I wasn't expecting any of that. I wanted something, I was actually thinking I was going to hear something a little more softer, a little mellowed out. I don't know. Maybe your picture kind of gave me that impression of you. I don't know. I was very impressed. I loved what I heard. And I want to hear. I'm excited to hear the rest of the album, guys. Again, tomorrow, the first album drops on all digital download streaming sites. Is This My Mental Breakdown? Make sure that you're supporting this artist in this endeavor. I want to get the next caller in so that he or she can ask questions, give shout outs, show some love before we wrap this up. All right.
Great.
You are
Thank
live
you so much.
right here on Endie Fiya with Nakia and Trish Discord. Who's on the line?
Hi, my name is Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Sarah?
Doing good,
How are you?
doing good. Much better since I listened to that song. It definitely motivated and woke me up a little bit.
Sarah is patient
Great to hear.
also, because Sarah's been on the line. She's been online for a minute. She heard the song. She disconnected. She came back on. So, I don't know. Sarah's got something she really wants to say. What you got, Sarah? What you got? Where you calling us from, first of all? Where you calling from?
New York.
No, I see that. I see that.
We're in New York.
Where
Long
in
Island.
New York you calling from?
Long Island.
Aye, another one. Okay. Aye. It's all love, though. It's all love. What you got? What you got first? You got a question? You got shout-outs? What you got?
I got a question. So I'm not sure if you answered it before since, I kind of just, tuned in. But can you tell me, how you wrote the album? I know from the little discussion you had before, it sounds like you have a psych degree. So just wanted to hear a little bit more about that.
Okay. So, yeah, I mentioned it a little bit before, but I'll rush on it again. I used what I learned in my psych degree, and I actually have some work experiences as well where I dealt with people that had some of the disorders that I write about. And I tried to, take my real-world information from the people that I knew that had those disorders, and also videos online that psychologists use to diagnose people with these disorders, and then combine that with the technical knowledge that I learned and try to, put that together and then imagine that I was the one with this disorder and then write about it that way.
Gotcha. And are you looking to do any outreach for suicide prevention, or since you touch upon the actual diseases themselves, to give back?
Yeah, I definitely do want to, once, this takes off a little more, do maybe a charity concert and have the money dedicated to, a suicide prevention hotline, or, if things open up again, sell some merch that can be dedicated to that, or maybe I'll do it online. Something that I guess, could have a fundraiser type thing that I could do to raise awareness about that, and then dedicate money that I make from the show or merchandise for that.
Perfect. And I hope with all of that, that works out, and I really think you'll go far with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling in, Sarah. You enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Sarah took my question too, because I wanted to know, what were you doing and if you were doing anything in the community as far as not only, your brand is concerned, but your passion for mental health. And you answered that question right there. When people listen to this album, whether it's your fans, whether it's my listening audience, which will now become, another support system and fan base, what do you want them to take from this album? What's the message you want to leave them with?
Yeah. I think what I want to have people take is, listening to this and sort of really understand what the disorder actually is. I mean, there's a lot of times where, TV can sort of dramatize the disorder and make it seem like a lot worse, or, have the most extreme ends of the spectrum of the disorder and make it seem like that's what people live with, and they're, I guess have symptoms that don't actually exist or off the walls. And I think I want to make it, seem like it is actually a lot more normal and common for people to have these disorders, and the things that they go through their headspace. I want it to sort of be translated so that someone who doesn't have this disorder can hear this and understand more what it is like for someone who has this to go through their day-to-day and deal with society.
So many artists now, independent and mainstream, are copycats, right? They have a cookie-cutter mold, and that's what they're basing their brands off of. People are scared to step out of the box now, be creative, and do their own thing. And it seems like you've done just the opposite with this project. You're doing something that, again, as I mentioned, a lot of people don't want to talk about mental disorders, mental health in general. They push it under, the rug. You hear about it when someone has passed away from committing suicide, or you hear about it when someone is being locked up, not locked up, but being, placed in a mental health, asylum or hospital, or when someone's being heavily medicated. You hear about it then, but nobody wants to talk about it daily like it needs to be discussed. So as an artist who has stepped out of the box, if you have an artist who may be listening right now, a new independent artist that says, you know what, hey, I love her creativity. I love what she's done with this project. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that she's not like other artists and that she has created this lane of her own, and she's going in a completely different direction than most people go. And I feel like I could do the same thing that she's doing. I feel like I got a story that I could tell, something that I feel like is going to help people now, as opposed to what people are putting out. But I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know in what direction I need to go. What piece of advice could you offer to that aspiring artist?
I guess what I would say is, if you can write the song yourself, then I would say, try to work on a single or an album, write something. If you need someone to help you, like bandmates or a producer, try to get them, and then just really focus on, your work and trying to perfect it and be, strong with your message and stand behind it. I think a lot of artists, sort of how you mentioned, they some of them just make a song just because they want to make sure it hits the charts, and they don't really think, I guess, much about, the consequences or
right.
the meaning of the song sometimes. And I think that sort of loses, the artistry of being a musician. I think, everyone has their own unique voice, so why not use your own voice and be unique and then try to, express it and use it. And I think that if people did that more often, then we would have a lot more diversity in music.
Awesome. There you have it, guys. There you have it. Trish, I want to go ahead and open the floor up to you now so that you can get all of your contact information out for those who may be listening live, for those who may come back and listen to one of the many playback shows. The floor is now yours to get all of your contact information out.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm Trish Discord and Defiant. On YouTube and Instagram, I'm just Trish Discord. And I also have a website, just TrishDiscord.com. And you can follow me there for any updates. I also have the booking agency and PR agency I use, madpop.com/TrishDiscord. If you want to look for anything there, both of them have, both TrishDiscord.com and the MadPop website have all my interviews and updates and other things I've talked about. So if you want to look at past interviews and learn more about what I've been talking about in this album, you can look at those as well. And anything future-wise, like any shows that I book, I think I'm probably going to try to do like maybe Instagram and Facebook Live concert in the next couple of weeks to play the songs from this album. I'm not exactly sure when. I haven't put a concrete date yet, but I definitely will put it up on my social media and people can follow it there.
All right, guys, and when she does that, we will definitely keep you all posted here so that you can check her out on either an Instagram or a Facebook Live performing the new songs off of the forthcoming, as in tomorrow, album, Is This My Mental Breakdown. All right, guys? Thank you so much for joining me this evening, guys. Thank you so much for being here. You've been amazing, as always. It's been fun, but you know the deal. We got to run. We'll see you on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Monday Motivation with Castle Moore on My Struggle Is My Strength. Then back here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for New Music Mondays. All right? You guys have an awesome weekend. Have a good night. Goodbye.